You're about to discover 10 behind-the-scenes facts about E.T. the Extra Terrestrial, directed by Steven Spielberg. Most films go through several drafts before a final shooting script is approved. But E.T. was an exceptional case, because Spielberg spent years crafting the story in his head, and then it got fleshed out with the help of screenwriter Melissa Matheson, so that by the time she wrote the first draft, he was so pleased with the result that he saw no need for further treatment, and used the first draft to begin filming. The filmmakers initially wanted Elliot to use M&Ms to lure E.T. back to his house, but for some reason the Mars company said no. So the producers approached Hershey to use one of their candies, and Hershey seized the opportunity to promote one of their newest products, Reese's Pieces, and agreed to spend $1 million for the rights to use their candy in the movie. And the movie's massive popularity is a big reason why the little peanut butter candies are still around today. Bringing E.T. to life required the work of animatronics as well as several stunt performers. For example, they hired a couple little people who wore special E.T. suits with well-hidden eye slits cut into the chest. Other scenes were filmed with a 12-year-old boy who was born without legs and walked on his hands while inside a specially designed E.T. suit. And a professional mime with long fingers was hired to wear sleeve-length E.T. gloves to film shots that required intricate hand movements. E.T.'s voice was provided by the actress Pat Welsh, but before Welsh was given the role, Steven Spielberg was E.T.'s first voice by acting out all the aliens' lines off camera, and he even provided E.T.'s voice on the movie's temp track before they hired Welsh to voice the character. A common theme in many of Steven Spielberg's movies is the innocence of childhood, and E.T. is a flagship example of this because most of the movie is shot from a child's point of view. For example, aside from Elliot's mom, no faces of adults are ever shown until the third act of the movie, when Keyes and his agents show up at Elliot's house. Harrison Ford was originally cast as Elliot's school principal for a scene where he would scold Elliot about the riot he caused when he freed the frogs in his biology class. But ultimately, Spielberg didn't think the scene was needed, and he thought Ford's voice was too recognizable and would distract from the story, so the scene was cut from the film. Most movies are filmed in an order according to the availability of the locations and actor schedules, but E.T. was an exception because Spielberg intentionally shot the film in chronological order. That way, it was actually the last time the cast, including E.T., would all be together, so their emotional responses you see in the movie were very real. Usually a movie is shot and edited without music, and then the composer will sculpt their score to match the visual beats. But for E.T.'s final scene, John Williams struggled to match his music to the way the scene was edited. So Spielberg turned off the projector screen and encouraged Williams to conduct the orchestra like he would at a concert, which gave the musicians breathing room to play with much more feeling. And then the footage was simply re-edited later to match their performance. Several mistakes can be seen in the movie that you may not have noticed before. If you look closely behind the banister while E.T. eats Reese's Pieces at the top of the stairs, you can see the silhouette of the woman who is doing E.T.'s hand movements. Two crewmen also accidentally made it into the movie. The first can be seen while Elliot is looking for more candy in a drawer, and a shadow of a crewman can be seen in the upper right area of the frame. The second crewman can be spotted during the bike chase, when his reflection appears on the back window of a government vehicle. And a real strange mistake can be seen when all the bikes take flight, and then their handlebars disappear while they're up in the air. At the end of the movie, there's a glaring continuity error when E.T. touches Elliot's forehead with the finger of his right hand. But in the next shot, E.T. is holding up his left hand. You may not have ever noticed this, but it was such a bothersome error to Spielberg that he had it fixed in the 2002 20th anniversary reissue of the movie. But because of the backlash he received over this and other changes he made to the film, like taking out the guns and switching them for walkie-talkies, in 2011, Spielberg pulled the 2002 version out of circulation forever, so that all future releases would only contain the original 1982 version. Click a video on the screen to enjoy more great content right here on Fun Fact Films.